Hello, welcome back to the Breaking News Update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from Ukraine, and I've got more evidence for you guys that possibly indicates Russia is not prepared to end this war yet. Take a look at your screen here. Ukrainian intelligence sources indicate Russia is preparing for a massive offensive. Unnamed representatives of Ukrainian intelligence said that Russia's preparation for an offensive is evidenced by the redeployment of Russian troops to key hotspots on the battlefield. Okay, so very interesting the timing of this report coming out, as we've been hearing so much over the last day or so that Russia and Ukraine are supposed to be meeting in Turkey this week on Thursday, May 15th, in direct talks to try to end this war. Now we have this report coming out that Russia is preparing another massive offensive. Now, this is something we have been hearing a lot over the last few months, that around spring or summertime, the Russians could launch a new offensive into Ukraine. So why would they be doing this if we're expecting peace talks to start this week on Thursday? Okay, so very interesting with this information. We're going to talk about this today. I also have some information on Volodymyr Zelensky. Apparently, he has jumped on his presidential aircraft and is on his way to Turkey as of today. And we also have some information regarding the delegation that's going to be representing Russia as they arrive in Turkey this week. So let's go ahead and jump on over here to the new voice of Ukraine. Russia gearing up for a big offensive in Ukraine. You can see the date here, May 13th, 2025. And it says right here, the Russian military has been shifting troops to major flashpoints on the Ukrainian front, a move that likely signals preparations for another large-scale offensive, the Financial Times reported on May 13th, citing Ukrainian intelligence sources. Despite Russian dictator Vladimir Putin inviting Kiev to direct peace negotiations in Istanbul on May 15th, invading troops in eastern Ukraine are busy massing for another push to seize the entirety of Donetsk Oblast, a key objective that has remained out of Kremlin's reach since 2022. So something I do want to note here is just today inside of Ukraine, just hours after we're hearing that Russia's going to be sending a delegation over to Turkey and that Ukraine's going to be heading over there today as well. We had some major ballistic missile attacks taking place, I think, in Odessa. We had at least one strike down there. We had guided aerial bombs being dropped all over the Donetsk region. So this war is still carrying on, even though at the same time we're hearing that talks are going to be ongoing this week starting Thursday. So it also says here, Ukrainian intelligence officials told the Financial Times that Russia appears to be gearing up for a larger offensive, moving forces to key hotspots on the battlefield rather than signaling its readiness for peace talks, the Financial Times report said. The Ukrainian OSINT open source intelligence Project Deep State said Russian troops captured more territory this week in eastern Donetsk Oblast, particularly around the towns of Pokrovsk and Toretsk. Deep State noted that Russian forces advanced within Toretsk itself, as well as near the village of Romanivka and Novo Oleksandrivka on the outskirts of Pokrovsk. The Ukrainian General Staff said 133 engagements occurred along the front on May 12th, with more than one-third taking place in the Pokrovsk area. Okay, so this is in the Donetsk region, that major transport and rail hub city. Ukraine's really trying to hold on to that right now. Apparently, the Russians are now launching some offensives over there in that area. And just in the last couple weeks, we were hearing that Ukraine was doing the same thing. Okay, so if anything, looks like Ukraine is back on the defensive in that area of Pokrovsk in the Donetsk region. It also says on April 30th, Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky said Russia had significantly intensified combat operations. He noted that Russian efforts were concentrated on the Pokrovsk direction as they attempt to reach the administrative border of Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. On May 2nd, Deep State analysts reported that the Russian army captured the village of Tarasivka in the Pokrovsk sector. Syrsky said on May 6th that Ukrainian defense forces had managed to stabilize the situation in the Pokrovsk area and in some sectors regain the tactical initiative. Okay, so this is not good news. I mean, on top of hearing about these peace talks that are supposed to be ongoing this week, now we've got these reports that Russia's preparing another offensive. So is this possibly indicating that Russia is not ready to end this war? I mean, I've been telling you guys so many times already that I think personally Russia is not ready to end this war. I mean, we've seen numerous indicators from just a report that I gave you guys the other day. Russia's defense industries are at an all-time high in terms of manufacturing right now. Their economy is based around war right now. I mean, they're massively producing so much weaponry. I can't see them just all of a sudden halting all of this, as that could probably put a major hamper on their economy. So let's jump on over here to X real quick. I got a couple things I want to share with you guys real quick before we get you out of here. So for Military News UA, Zelensky has already left for Ankara, the Ukrainian embassy in Turkey. Okay, so this was a picture of Zelensky today leaving on his presidential aircraft as he's going to be heading on his way over to Turkey in the capital of Ankara. And he should be there in the next 24 hours. Okay, and he'll be waiting to meet with Vladimir Putin in Turkey. Finally, one last report from Clash Report. Senior former Kremlin official speaking to the Washington Post. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov and Putin's foreign policy aide Ushakov will represent Russia in talks in Turkey. Okay, so we did talk about this morning. It wasn't completely confirmed, but it looks like, according to the Washington Post, Kremlin official apparently was stating that, yes, foreign minister out of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, will be there, and also the foreign policy aide, Yuri Ushakov, they will be there to represent Russia in the talks in Turkey. So if they're going to be there, that makes me think that Russian President Vladimir Putin is not going to be arriving in Turkey at all to meet directly with Vladimir Zelensky. And then on top of that, that makes me think that we're not going to see these talks go anywhere, because Zelensky did say earlier today that he will not engage in any other talks with any other representatives from Russia. He wanted to talk directly to Putin, as Putin is the only person that can end this war at the end of the day. So I just want to give you guys a quick update coming out from Ukraine to let you know from their intelligence sources that they believe Russia is preparing another massive offensive here very soon on top of these peace talks. So let me know what you think. Do you think Russia is prepared to end this war, or do you think they're preparing to carry on this invasion into Ukraine? Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.